भारत का कोहिनूर रहा नहीं, हमसे बिछड़ गया है।
Mr. Tata was really somebody who was very, very humble, very graceful.
Ratan Tata was a great man, a great mind, and a great son of India.
India will miss him greatly.
He was a perfect gentleman and perfect Indian.
Growing up, this day will ever come where I'd be 6 inches away from someone I feel not every Indian, but every human being ever born and to be born should take inspiration from.
Thank you for putting me at ease. I've been as nervous about sitting 6 inches from you as you have been.
Whenever the economic history of modern India is written, I would feel that a full volume will not be enough to describe his achievements.
I'd like to be remembered as a person who made a difference. Not anything more, not anything less.
Ratan Tata, the man who transformed the Tata Group into India's largest conglomerate, is no more. Tributes have been pouring in from across the country and the world for the business leader. For 23 years, Ratan Tata led the conglomerate, which houses more than 100 companies and clocks an annual revenue over $100 billion. Over the next 30 minutes, we bring to you Ratan Tata in his own words. In 2021, I last interviewed Ratan Tata about life after retirement and his startup investments. Tata has invested in more than 40 startups and spoke candidly about how he chooses which companies to invest in. Here's an excerpt of that conversation with Ratan Tata.
Role do you believe large conglomerates like the Tatas, like the Reliance Group, etc., can play? Because one of the aspects that you just brought up was that startups are much more agile, much more nimble, perhaps in many ways more disruptive than legacy businesses. So we are now starting to see conglomerates acquire startups. We're starting to see partnerships and collaboration. How do you see that playing out?
Well, I think the plays are the same. Who looks at it as a question of what kind of vision one has. But there could be two kinds of roles that we're talking about. One is an area where I am now putting myself back into the industrial entity that there was. I've got disposable funds. I'm going to start investing in startups, which I will control and I will own, and I will provide myself with activities which I would otherwise not get into. And I could do this by setting up family offices, by creating small venture capital-based companies, where you can argue that I'm using my shareholders' money, but I'm providing them the opportunity of being in this activity. That's different from what you've seen in the Bay Area time and time again. I put all my money into this. I borrowed money from investors and friends. I have a responsibility to see this become a reality, and I'm going to give it all my best to make this happen. That segment of the enterprise has been the one that I've been most impressed by. Usually um, a bunch of ex-students who have had a common view of something that could happen. Um, a company like Google that's been established, where two colleagues in college could decide that they're going to start a search engine. And then you look behind the vision and the entrepreneurial spirit that there is, and you have to say, wow, that's something that's very impressive to look at, for someone to put their money into, and to become a part of their life. But look what it's done. So it's so exciting, an area that I find it difficult to put words behind it. But when you look at a deck of investable options, and you look at some of the propositions that are made, a lot of them are copies of successful startups, and those are, unless there's a jewel somewhere, those are probably not going to be successful. Maybe would become Me Too companies, and that would be all. But the one which has the greatest vision and a spark that explains how he's going to get to that goal, which you don't find that with everyone. Those are the jewels that one looks for, that creates the enterprises that you and I are referring to just now.
You're probably looking at a bunch of decks and investable opportunities on a daily basis, Mr. Tata. What has wowed you, or what wows you today as you look at opportunities? Which are the sectors that you feel that you must back? Because you also said that this is an opportunity that that people must capitalize on, and you can stretch the envelope to as much as you want. So where do you believe the constraints lie? What is wowing you today? How are you looking at the investment landscape?
Well, I think first of all you have to accept that you're going to have a choice of, let's say, 10 companies, of which 8 are going to fail. They may fail for lack of investment, they may fail for a mistaken element, but that they're not going to be highly successful. And that's not going to turn you away from looking at enterprises, that you're going to continue the quest to do so, because 2 or 3 out of 10 are going to succeed. Or you hope that your vision enables them to succeed. There's no pro forma that tells you that if you go down this checklist that you're going to be backing a winning company. One may be in healthcare, one may be in life science. You may have 4 or 5 in electronics. You can have unbelievable connections between, let's say, electronics and life sciences, or nanotechnology, or these are actually areas of enterprise that have come from these new areas of business, and are going to continue to be exciting areas. And some of them unfortunately you get terribly excited about as something that can happen, let's say, almost like science fiction movies. You can see that this really could be so. You could have a telephone conversation with another person in another language and speak as though it's the same language that you're talking in interacting with a person in real time in a very different way. And it may seem, again, that this would be terrific, but it doesn't work, or it doesn't work with these founders. It's all a question of the people behind, the brains behind the enterprise you're looking at. And in my view, the link that you have to the investor is, do you give that investor the chance to play out that role model that he wants to? Or are you going to constrain and try to second guess him as you go along? Both have their pluses and both have their minuses. But the entrepreneur who enjoys the trust and the confidence and the excitement in a new venture is going to be more successful, or should be more successful, than the other one who's trying to use his vast knowledge and his risk awareness also to control the enterprise is going to have.
Ratan Tata joined Instagram in 2019. At the time, he was 81 and took the platform by storm. He was more influential than many so-called influencers. In his Instagram bio, Tata cheekily claimed, "I made it to the gram." Few days later, he shared a picture with the Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash at the Jaguar showroom in California, where the rock star was picking up his new Jaguar. Tata even defended a woman who trolled him on the platform. During the same interview in 2021, I asked Tata about his Instagram debut and how he would like to be remembered.
You know, you're active on social media, you're on Twitter, you're now also on Instagram. Are you enjoying that experience? And you know, you said previously that there's nowhere to escape from the virus and from the pandemic, but you know, with the vaccination and hopefully with the world opening up, where would you like to escape to?
If I think about how would I like to be remembered, I would like to be remembered as a person who was able to make a change, who is able to be responsible for some change in the way we looked at things. What that might be spelt out as, I can't really say, because I have a feeling that that's going to just happen one day, where you become the innovator of something that people have talked about but not done. And you have found that little alley that enables you to do something which people thought was unviable and not possible. That would be an immensely exciting area to be in. And if one could have that satisfaction of saying, I enabled an artificial eye to be created, or I enabled X or Y or Z to happen, that to me, even if it were not financially the most successful, what it brings to the world would be exciting to a person like me.